This is the QTV Nightly News, and I am Loli M. Kamara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. At a press conference on Friday, the Medicines Control Agency reported the arrest of several unauthorized drug peddlers within the Greater Banjul area. The Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology today launched a new project aimed at strengthening research and innovation in the Gambia's higher education sector. On the sidelines of the first ever West Africa Economic Summit in Nigeria last Friday, the Gambia's Trade Minister Babukar Ojuf highlighted Gambia's role in the African Continental Free Trade Area as a regional trade hub. The National Environment Agency and partners held a press briefing on Friday to discuss the 14 million climate resilient Banjul Climb project to help communities in the Greater Banjul area and adapt to climate change. The Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security, through the Giraffe project, distributed farming implements to beneficiaries in the Central and the Upper River regions. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. Thanks for joining us. At a press conference on Friday, the Medicines Control Agency, MCA, reported the arrest of several unauthorized drug peddlers in 2 drugstores within the Greater Banjul area. This follows a 3-day joint inspection with laws enforcement. And Sumana Esonyasi was there and he now reports.
The 3-day joint inspection exercise is in line with the agency's implementation strategy of the National Action Plan, in line with part of its mandate to, among other things, regulate and control the distribution and use of medicines and related products to ensure quality, safety and efficacy. At this media briefing, the Executive Director of the MCA, Dr. Esa Marena, and Tijan Jallo, the agency's Director of Operations, described the joint inspection as a major success, revealing that several individuals have been arrested at various locations, including in Serekunda and Brikama.
They were able to come across with 10 unauthorized medicine peddlers were arrested at the park. Also, the team visited Serekunda. Also, in Serekunda, 14 peddlers and unauthorized cosmetic product sellers were also apprehended.
It worth noting, based on the statistics that we have for pre-shipment inspection and testing, instead of Gambia falling in 1 in every 10 medicine, now we are 1 out of every 30 medicines. So meaning, like, with the mechanism we put in place, now we are minimizing the risks.
While giving assurances of their commitment to ensuring that medicines and related products in the Gambia meet the required standards, they hinted at plans to expand the inspection exercise to other regions of the country. Here is Mohamed Mane, a regulatory officer at the Pharmacy Council, calling on the public to support the medicine and enforcement agencies by reporting unauthorized peddlers and drugstores, adding that this will help save lives.
Any information that we have pertaining to illegal drugstores, substandard and falsified medicines, let us all put our hands together and pass the information to both MCA and Pharmacy Council so that we can keep our community, our parents, our brothers, and our sisters safe.
Fatu Fall, Legal and Enforcement Officer of the Medicines Control Agency, warns members of the public against unauthorized peddling of medicines and related products, adding that anyone caught doing so will be prosecuted. She also revealed that the agency prosecuted several individuals last year and currently has ongoing cases at the court.
As of last year, we were able to secure a total of 7 convictions, 5 of which were before the Bilkama Magistrates Court. They were all convicted. They were sentenced to a fine of 50,000 each. In default, they were served 6 months in mile 2. 1 individual was able to pay off the fine, and then the other 4 were to serve their custodial sentence at mile 2. The other 2 convictions were secured from the Carnegie Magistrates Court. Those 2, they were repeated offenders.
The ongoing inspection exercise follows concerns over national enforcement and regulatory mechanisms for medicines and related products following the AKI incident, which allegedly led to the deaths of over 70 children, and the matter is currently in court. However, authorities reaffirmed their commitment to ensuring that medicines and related products in the Gambia are of quality, safe and efficacious. Ansmane Sonyase for KTV News.
The Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology today launched a new project aimed at strengthening research innovation in the Gambia's higher education sector. Alicise has more.
The project, called Institutional and Human Capabilities Building in Basic Science, Technology, Research, Innovation and Engineering to Enhance Knowledge for Sustainable Development, is supported by UNESCO through its National Commission, NATCOM. Held at the Ministry's new office in Canifin, stakeholders at the launching expressed the hope that the project will enhance professionalization of research management in the country's higher education and research institutions. Representing UNESCO, Umar Jallo said the project comes at a crucial time as the ministry moves to integrate research across academic institutions.
The development of Gambia national research policies and regulatory frameworks and other research governance and management tools are clear testimonies to the country's vision for promoting a comprehensive and quality national research culture that enhances evidence-based decision-making for national development.
Dembo Kante of the West Africa Research and Innovation Management Association highlighted lack or inadequate funding as a key challenge for researchers. Professor Asan J, seasoned global educator and researcher, emphasized that a competitive and impactful research work requires acquiring certain skills, particularly in grant writing proposals.
If you look at the challenges that individual researchers and institutions face in our part of the world, the number one thing is funding. Okay? When our governments don't fund research, other international donors will fund research. But they want to give the research to the best ideas, the best proposals.
You can build your research management in your institution, but if you don't have competent researchers, you don't head anywhere. Because don't assume that you can get money to do research anyhow. Research has to be competitive, has to be impactful, and therefore you have to give that soft skill training to researchers.
In launching the project, on behalf of Minister Professor Per Gomez, the Director of Tertiary and Higher Education at the Ministry, Anthony G. Mendy, noted that research is evolving and becoming more collaborative and global in nature.
In today's world, whether in science, engineering, medicine, or even in the social sciences, the complexity of challenges we face demands teamwork, diversity of thought, and shared expertise, and building research management capabilities. The rationale is simple, but powerful. Two or more people working together can produce better, more impactful results than one person working in isolation.
With the launch of the project, the ministry hopes to usher in a new era of professional, well-funded, and impactful research that not only supports national development, but also one that connects Gambian scholars to the global academic community. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
On the sidelines of the first ever West Africa Economic Summit, which took place in Nigeria last Friday, Mam Nabuka engaged the Gambia's Trade Minister Babukar Ojuv on the African Continental Free Trade Area and Gambia's role as a regional trade hub. And this is her report.
The African Continental Free Trade Area is one of the flagship projects of the African Union's Agenda 2063, the Africa We Want. It aims to create a single market for goods and services, promote intra-African trade, and enhance economic integration across the continent. With the agreement established in 2018 and officially operationalized in January 2021, intra-African trade has been showing significant growth. Offering a market of approximately 1.4 billion people, the overarching goal of the AFTA agreement is to increase socio-economic development, reduce poverty, and make Africa more competitive in the global economy. The Gambia ratified the agreement in 2019 and is currently implementing the AFTA strategies. As a country that persistently experiences a trade deficit, the Gambia relies heavily on imports, which represents 98.2% of its total trade, and exports remain at a low 0.6%. The country's key exports include agricultural products like groundnuts and cashew nuts along fish products, while imports consist of a wide range of goods including the staple food rice, mineral fuels, oils, cement, vehicles, and cereals amongst other key products. Gambia's Trade Minister Babukar Ojuf explains how Gambia intends to strongly position itself in the AFTA market, with little trade products to offer.
A lot of emphasis is being placed on production. A lot of emphasis is being, placed on value addition, on agroforestry. And the most important thing is manufacturing. And that is why the government is working arduously to ensure that the special economic zone that we have studied and, transformed into a bankable project is implemented so that we go into manufacturing and exportation, comes into the economic frame.
Intra-African trade currently stands at approximately 15%. A figure that is significantly lower than the global average of 60%. Minister Diouf points out that the Gambia's participation in the AFTA could help increase this percentage, providing new opportunities for Gambian businesses and enhancing the country's economic resilience. However, beyond national challenges, he also addressed some of the issues that prevent intra-African trade from skyrocketing and suggest a solution.
All the protocols, all the policies, all the frameworks, what we have at border restrictions, customs, non-tariff barriers, all these things make trading difficult. So we need to improve on this and trust each other and allow trade to flow across the borders. That is where we are weak, and unless we resolve that, ECOWAS will continue to struggle.
As the continent moves towards greater economic integration, the Gambia aims to harness the opportunities presented by the AFTA to drive sustainable development and improve the livelihoods of its citizens. Currently, 48 out of 55 member states have ratified the African Continental Free Trade Area, but full implementation is still underway due to various challenges. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa projects a 35% increase in intra-African trade by 2045, following the full implementation of the AFTA. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
We are taking a short commercial break. When we return, we have details of the $14 million climate resilient Greater Banjul project, the distribution of farming implements to beneficiaries in the Central and Upper River regions, and renewed efforts to eliminate malaria in the Gambia. Stay tuned.
Premium basalt, now back in stock. In an effort to support the rapid infrastructural development of the Gambia, GATCH is proud to announce that our premium quality basalt is now available at our depot in Saro, near Denton Bridge. Our basalt has been rigorously tested by both national and private laboratories in the Gambia and Cape Verde, ensuring top-tier quality for road constructions, concrete, and buildings. Sourced directly from our partner's own quarry in Cape Verde, we guarantee a steady and timely supply thanks to the short shipping distance. We have 03, 38, and 816 basalt in stock to meet all your project needs. Every order is weighed so you receive exactly what you pay for. No guesswork, just precision. Visit us, GATCH Depot Saro near Denton Bridge, or call us at 457-4048 or 533-2009.
Being the Gambia's trusted network, QCell continues to provide the fastest and most reliable internet service in the Gambia. With 4G plus internet speed, you are guaranteed fast and reliable internet anytime, anywhere with QCell. Get a QCell SIM card now at any of our customer care centers and enjoy the fastest 4G internet in the Gambia. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyubus, we innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. The National Environment Agency, NEA, and partners held a press briefing on Friday to discuss a $14 million climate resilience Banjul project to help communities in the Greater Banjul area adapt to climate change. Jul Denjai attended the event and Sina reports.
The $14 million climate resilient Banjul project, CLIME, is funded by the Global Environment Facility (GEF) with technical support from the United Nations Environment Programme and will be implemented by the National Environment Agency. It aims to strengthen the Gambia's capacity to manage climate-related risk in urban areas. Over the next 6 years, CLIME will support communities in Banjul, Kanifing and Birkama by addressing threats such as flooding, coastal erosion, drought, and extreme heat. Omar C., Director of Technical Services Network at NEA, spoke about the importance of the project.
The government of the Gambia is working tirelessly in ensuring that our environmental challenges are addressed. Through UNEP, this project will be implemented and is going to take a period of time. And currently, as we said, the international consulting firms are working on the development of the project, and also the thematic activities are underway.
The Greater Banjul area, home to a rapidly growing population, has been increasingly affected by climate change. Flooding events like the 2022 disaster that displaced thousands are becoming more frequent. Coastal erosion is threatening homes and roads, while rising temperatures and reduced rainfall are placing additional stress on water supplies and public health. According to the officials, CLIME aims to tackle these challenges with a combination of nature-based and infrastructure-focused solutions. These include restoring mangroves and wetlands, improving urban drainage, improving climate-smart agriculture, and introducing better waste management practices. Training and support will also be provided to local officials and communities to improve long-term planning and resilience. Here is Dr. Genesis T. Yengo, Chief Technical Advisor for the GEF 6 project.
All of these things that are going to be done within the municipality are going to be done by the council. The project is not going to be directly implementing anything. No, it's going to be the councils. So council is basically at the very, very center of this. So whenever Jeff finances something, he will ask, what is the co-financing? You who is going to benefit, you have to put in something. So all the councils here have given their own co-financing. So they are at the very center.
A key feature of the project is its focus on inclusion. Special attention will be given to supporting women and young people who are often the most vulnerable to climate impacts, but are also central to community resilience. CLIME will also work to attract private sector investment in sustainable development and promote green livelihoods across urban communities. An information sharing platform will be developed to document lessons learned and support similar efforts in other parts of the country. The project will be implemented in close collaboration with local councils, civil society organizations, and national institutions. It will also complement ongoing regional efforts, such as the World Bank's West Africa Coastal Areas Management Program (WACA), ensuring coordinated action and broader impact. The CLIME project marks a major step forward in the Gambia's climate adaptation efforts. By blending environmental restoration, smart planning, and community empowerment, the project aims to protect more than 350,000 people and create a more resilient future for the Greater Banjul area. For QTV News, I am Jul Denjai.
On Monday, the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security, through the Gambia Inclusive and Resilient Agricultural Value Chain Development Project, GIRAF, distributed farming implements to beneficiaries in the Central and Upper River regions. Our regional correspondent, Bakari Balde, reports.
The equipment, comprising 14 combined harvesters and 5 rice transplanters, was handed over to 15 beneficiaries during a ceremony held at the Maro Farms complex in Pachar, Central River Region. The beneficiaries include farmer cooperatives, innovation platforms, private sector enterprises, the Gambia Armed Forces Agricultural Unit, and the Regional Agriculture Directorate in Central River Region South. The aim is to improve production and productivity and also to reduce post-harvest losses and labor force on rice farmers. Mohamed S. So is the acting coordinator of the Giraffe Project and the Central Project Coordination Unit at the Ministry of Agriculture.
In this evolving time, to meet the ever-growing demands of food, adequate, nutritious, and safe food for our nation, mechanization represents the next era in this evolution, offering a myriad of benefits, extending beyond only efficiency.
Usman Ba, Governor of the Central River Region, and Samba Ba, Governor of the Upper River Region, applauded the government for the intervention and urged the beneficiaries to make wise use of the machines to ensure they serve their intended purpose.
Don't take these equipments to be your personal thing. They belong to all of us. Therefore, when they come, be ready to share with others.
What is important, various speakers have said it. The equipments are here, but what is important now, how do we utilize the equipments and maximize profit?
Peter Balde, a farmer who spoke on behalf of the beneficiaries, emphasized on the maintenance and sustainability of the machines.
We, the farmers, we have to be honest. There have been projects, they gave equipment. Some of these equipment are getting rusty in our communities, underutilized. We have to change the attitudes. When we are giving these equipments, they should serve for the purpose according to the Deputy Director General just alluded to.
Dr. Demba Sabali, the Minister of Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security, reaffirmed the government's commitment to boosting rice production as a pathway to sustainable growth and national food self-sufficiency. He also emphasized the need for greater private sector involvement in the agricultural sector.
The wealthy people of this country, and I said this before, I'll say it again, before you take $30 million and start erecting story buildings and keep renting and fighting with tenants, please bring the $30 million and invest in agriculture. You start getting your capital back in 2 years' time, and you will get profit. It's more profitable than the buildings that you will be building.
As part of efforts to build a productive and climate-resilient agri-food system in the Gambia, this support is expected to help farmers boost rice production, enhance productivity, and promote commercialization, contributing to national food security and economic growth. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
The International Federation of the Red Cross through Gambia Red Cross Society, with support from the China International Development Cooperation Agency, handed over anti-malarial drugs worth over $11 million to the Ministry of Health. Jennifer Sonko tells us more.
Malaria remains a leading cause of illness and death, particularly among children under 5 and pregnant women. Significant progress has been made in eliminating malaria in the Gambia, with a 70% decline in cases from 2011 to 2022. The handover of anti-malarial drugs to the Ministry of Health by the Gambia Red Cross Society is part of the project called Accelerating Malaria Elimination in the Gambia, implemented by the Gambia Red Cross Society. One of the key components of this project is the implementation of seasonal malaria chemo prevention in Kombo North District of the West Coast region, targeting 70,000 children aged 3 and 59 months. Over 200,000 blisters of anti-malarial medicines have been procured for the project. Here is Charles Bozinga, the International Federation of Red Cross's Regional Director for Africa.
However, we know that the success of the campaign also depends on strong community engagement. This is where the Gambia Red Cross Society will continue to play a pivotal role, mobilizing its dedicated volunteers to raise awareness, promote early detection, and support timely treatment.
Malaria chemo prevention involves giving a full course of anti-malarial drugs at an interval to vulnerable groups like pregnant women or infants, regardless of infection status. It's mostly administered during the rainy season, when malaria transmission peaks. Lamin Damfa, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, says this method has proven to significantly reduce infections and save lives.
It's very timely as well, because it comes at a time that
we are in the malaria season. What we call rain season, as I said, is considered as a malaria season. And bringing this kind of support at this time, there is no better time than this time than that. And we want to thank you for your foresight.
The Accelerating Malaria Elimination in the Gambia project is supported by the China International Development Cooperation Agency, also known as China Aid, China's international development agency. Tong Jiang is the Economic and Commercial Affairs Counselor at the Chinese Embassy in Banjul.
China declared this malaria-free internationally, but still we just from malaria only less than 15 years. So I think that's why we can see we feel from our Gambian friends. So we must to support, to help, to try to give up our hand. And also, as I mentioned, I remember at the speech by the ambassador during the election ceremony, and we are very confident that with the strong support of the international community, with the strong lead of the government of the Gambia, we can see the malaria-free for the Gambia very soon.
Among the key challenges of malaria elimination in the Gambia is the emergence of urban malaria. Research shows it requires tailored interventions to address the unique needs of both rural and urban communities. Also, the ongoing threat of climate change poses new risks, demanding adaptive strategies to maintain the gains achieved thus far. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basongo.
Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. At a press conference on Friday, the Medicines Control Agency reported the arrest of several unauthorized drug peddlers within the Greater Banjul area. The Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology today launched a new project aimed at strengthening research and innovation in the Gambia's higher education sector. On the sidelines of the first ever West Africa Economic Summit in Nigeria last Friday, the Gambia's Trade Minister Babukar Ojuf highlighted Gambia's role in the African Continental Free Trade Area as a regional trade hub. The National Environment Agency and partners held a press briefing on Friday to discuss a $14 million climate resilience Banjul project to help communities in the Greater Banjul area adapt to climate change. The Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security, through the Giraffe project, distributed farming implements to beneficiaries in the Central and Upper River regions. That's all for now in this news bulletin. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for another bulletin. Until then, have a good night and thanks for watching.